What's up, guys? It's your boy Jamaica here, coming at you with another tournament recap for Season 7, Week 10. The Friday tournament was won by Jenkin5630 with his Mardu Angelica Cord deck. So, if you're not aware, the Friday tournament, we're starting a new series. This is its trial run around 1:30 Eastern Standard Time. So, you have a time for thing figured out. But it's a trial run, so we got a really decent turnout. But it's a new tournament series. We want to check it out. It's going to happen on Fridays, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Check your local listings. But yeah, we got a good decent turnout, and it's won by Jenkin here with his Mardu Angelic deck. It's actually a red-white deck, splash a little couple black cards, but kind of based around Angelica Cord, so getting 4 life or more is kind of named the game here to kind of just like get this late game engine going as Angelica Cord. So let's just start with the mana base here. Red white, you always want this kind of card, Ancient Amphitheories. There's actually only 4 giants in the deck, but you know, once you get this untapped land, it's pretty decent. Untapped duels are really hard to come by. So we have to settle for things like Evolving Wilds, Nomad Outposts, things like that. There's a single swamp down here, and a single Sunhome Fortress of the Legion here. We've seen it a lot in things like Modern Amulet Titan, the kind of like kill with Primeval Titan. But, you know, this is fine. You make bunch of flyers. It's a good late game push. Spell-based lands are like really awesome. Single Rebuff the Wicked here is interesting. I guess Time Spiral block really put a number on the color pie, so white got a counterspell. It can protect all sorts of things, you know. Your Angelica Cord from dying when your creatures, you kind of need them to live, things like that. Lone Rider and Seeker the Way here are kind of like life-gating guys. Seeker, you have to trigger it with a sort of like non-creature spell, I guess. A Lone Rider just attacks on its own. They're both pretty decent, like, early drops. Crimsop, one of the aforementioned giants, sort of, I think it's just only here, really, to hit the Amphitheater. Because, like, I mean, killing a creature is fine, giving him a shape-shifting creature is fine, but really, you're really playing this card because it's a changeling, because it's a giant, because you can get this Ancient Amphitheater working. And, you know, it's just, like, good enough, really. Inspiring Cleric here is the gain 4 life guy here. 3-2 for 3, not too bad, but gaining 4 life is really good. Get it triggering the cord and just letting you stay alive. I think the name of the game here is like staying alive as long as possible before you get your engines going. Single Paladin Vec is kind of like my Hate Bear fun guy, but you know, first strike, pro black, pro red, kind of like gums up the board for a little bit. Dark Toolage, if you're gaining a bunch of life, you might as well just use it to your advantage. So Dark Toolage is kind of like a Dark Confidant in statement form. So it's hard to deal with, but it's still pretty neat. Kind of gets you that card advantage going. But there's a lot of 4s and 5s, so it's kind of a scary card. It's kind of a scary card to play. Jellicle Core, like we said, it's a great, like, you know, draft all-star here. But I've tried to draft this card so many times to just build around it. So it's so fun, but it's also very good. So once you can kind of just like gain 4 life here and there every turn, it's pretty decent. Face Fetters also gains 4 life and also just shuts down a creature. Creature or permanent even. So even permanents like Fire Extinct Furnace, I guess. Dynavolt Tower, that's a permanent you can shut down. Lands, you can shut down like spell lands, like Nephalia Johnyard. That'll shut that down. Things like that. Brinestar Arm is the other giant. Doesn't see a lot of play, but it's good here. You know, sometimes you make a big creature, you can gain 4 life, kind of fling it. It also just kind of like lets you kind of like end the game in certain ways, just the flinging part. And it's a 4/4 lifelink, so it gains you 4 life to get more accords. And then you can fling the angels if you need to. Things like that, it's so funny. Or Whirly Materials to get another gain 4 life thing, but also just hits a creature or player for 4. So removal, plus life, plus angel, win. Dead Gone, we don't see a lot of Dead Gone here, but it's an early sort of shock for creatures, or it's a bounce spell in red. Again, the color pie is being twisted here, but Dead Gone's the Gone part is pretty good against, like, you know, Reanimator style decks. It can get like a World Gorger Dragon, you know, that's a surprise card, things like that. So most sides are pretty useful. And then Tragic Arrogance, it's a pretty neat card. You can make some decent piles with this. Like, you can save like your own Brinestar Arm and your own Angelica Cord, so then you can make your own army, or like maybe like Dark Tutelage, another creature or whatever that they can't deal with. So I like Tragic Arrogance in this build. Sideboard's pretty interesting here. Another extra Rebuff the Wicked here, just for, I guess, people that are actually going to gun for your enchantments. Seal of Cleansings for the disenchant effect. Warmth, we don't see a lot of warmth. We usually see Sphere of Law here, but Warmth is a lot cheaper for the most part, and you really want to gate life this deck anyway, so that's fine. I guess it's more thematic here. Sentinel Totem, sort of graveyard hate here. Kenoran Outpost is an interesting card. It's probably for the control matchups where you just kind of want to kind of grind out tokens. There's only so many planes in this deck. 7 planes, so it's kind of hard to get this going, but I can kind of see a use for it. Maybe there's another better choice here. Not Hemorrhage, if you're kind of black, and you're black, you have a splash black and you're red, I think this is a good enough card. My more side effects are actually at the low this season, so this is really good. It can get like a lot of decks have like namesake cards that are kind of built around like World Gorger Dragon, like I don't know, Yosei, Animate Dead, things like that. Control decks have like very few win conditions, so if you say like Aetherling or like Assemble Legion, that's pretty good. So this can kind of just like tease your opponent a bit. Radiant Flames, it's kind of a cheap Wrath, not bad here. And Nature's Ruin for those green decks, those pesky green decks, another cheap Wrath. This is a really sweet deck. I'm glad Jenkins. This is actually Jenkins' very first PD win, or PD tournament win. So shout out to you, Jenkins. If you want to see the other decks from this tournament, check out the description. There's a link. Catch you next time. Thank you.